Welcome to Monday. It's the 27th day of December, 2021. Hope everyone had a Merry Christmas. And some of you not only had a Merry Christmas, some of you had a white Christmas. It was like a Hallmark movie. In parts of southern Wyoming on Christmas morning, Cheyenne picking up about 4 inches of snow with some heavy snow showers. It was kind of a localized event, but it went right down I-80 and brought many areas of southern Wyoming a white Christmas. And for you folks in the mountains or who live near the mountains, along and near the divide or west of the divide, it was a white Christmas. For many of you out on the plains, it was a brown Christmas. It's fun when this happens. You know, statistically, on the front range in the plains, if you go back and look at historical averages, you know, there's only about a 1 in 5, 1 in 4 chance of it actually snowing on Christmas Day. So when it happens, it is very special. And there's more winter weather coming. When you take Pacific moisture and you merge it with Canadian air in the Rockies and High Plains, it is a recipe for snow, especially in the mountains. A deep, cold trough is going to be settling in this week. This will cause travel problems all week. We've got travel problems and closures today, and this is going to be a travel headache, I think, until Sunday. We're going to have a break in the weather on Sunday, but until then, it's going to be rough going if you need to travel. More mountain snow's coming. The snow was measured in feet over the weekend. We'll talk about that. Severe cold for the northern areas. We're going to have some really cold temperatures in Montana, the Dakotas, northern Wyoming, and parts of the Pacific Northwest into Idaho, Washington, Oregon, even into California. We're talking about some really cold weather. Satellite photos show the next wave coming off the Pacific. This is that Pacific moisture we've talking about. It's going to head right down Interstate 80 again. Later today and tonight, it's going to bring more snow to the mountains of Colorado, Wyoming, Idaho, back into the Great Basin, into California again. And there's a lot of very cold air that's in this area right here that's feeding into this. And so that Canadian air and the Pacific moisture is just a recipe to bring more snow and wintry weather to the region. As long as this high is there, remember, when the ridge is here, we go into the fridge. So a trough is going to get carved out over the western United States, feeding in very cold Canadian air and air in from the Arctic. At the same time, notice the trajectory of the air. This is important. The trajectory of the air here is over the water. And that trajectory of the air comes in and curves and goes eastward. So there's water in the air, lots of it, because the trajectory of the air is over the Pacific, not over the land, at least initially. So what'll happen is that Pacific moisture comes in, it hits the mountains, the cold air comes in from the northwest. It's just the perfect recipe to bring more mountain snow. Eventually, this trough digs in deeper and becomes more established. This allows more Arctic air, more very cold air to pour on in. So as we go into tomorrow and Wednesday, it's going to be getting colder. Going forward, this is for Thursday. The trough remains in place, and then this little area here, see where all the lines are packed together? This is another little wave coming in that's going to drag more Pacific energy and moisture off the eastern Pacific, drive it in, and also it's going to drag in this blue right here, that very cold air aloft. This is the precipitation forecast. This is for today through Thursday. So you can see it's the same trend we showed you last week. Along and west of the divide is where the better moisture will be, although across the northern plains here, there's going to be big snow and some Arctic air up here. But look at all the snow falling into the major mountain ranges of the western United States. More rains, cold rains, for California. More heavy snow into the Sierra Nevada, and more snow for the ski areas of the Intermountain West. If you were to convert the next 3.5 days of snow, this is what it looks like. See, there's going to be a little bit of snow out here on the plains, but not a lot, but there's going to be some. I-80 all the way into California, I-70 into the mountains of Colorado, into Utah, I-15. Then all roads and highways here going to be slick, icy, and conditions very cold. These are temperatures relative to average by Tuesday afternoon. Sub-zero temperatures across southern Canada, the Dakotas, and eastern Montana. But you can see that the delineation between above average temperatures and below average temperatures pushing more south, pushing more west into the interior west as we go through the next several days. These are temperatures by New Year's morning relative to average. Anywhere you see purple, likely going below zero or close to below zero. The blue here, you're going to be in the single digits, down into the green and blue here, down into the teens. And that cold air is all the way into the Texas Panhandle by New Year's morning. So a bit of a blue norther heading into those areas on New Year's Day, while the cold gets deep-seated west of the Divide and into the northern plains and the northern Rockies. Now, this is the additional precipitation that falls Friday and Saturday. So you can even see, look at this. This is that snow hole we've talked about. This is a bit of a question mark, but there could be some ice and snow here as we get into New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. So travelers, you need to watch that. Then it's just basically more the same. More big snows in the mountains of the Intermountain West with the next wave. So really there's two waves of mountain snow and precipitation, today and in the Tuesday. And then again, as we get on into late Wednesday, Thursday, New Year's Eve, Friday, and into the morning hours of New Year's Day. And this is what the snowfall forecast looks like. So again, this area really needs moisture. So we kind of hope this happens. But again, I want to highlight this area to travelers. Look at all the snow that's going to fall across the northern plains. And then also notice we get more snow now, even into the Front Range of Colorado maybe. By New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, there's going to be some snow coming on in. This is by Saturday morning. There's a lot of very cold Arctic air right here. But what will happen is there is going to be a temporary high pressure ridge coming in as we get on the day after Christmas. New Year's Day. So Sunday, the day after New Year's, we have a high pressure ridge moving in. And if this does develop, and we think it will, for you folks who have to travel Sunday, this will bring improving weather. It doesn't mean the roads are going to be great, but the weather will be improving briefly Sunday into Monday. This next low up here will not stall. It will push in, dragging in more winter weather by the middle of next week. Now, I wanted to show you the change in snowpack, and this is something we're going to update you continually throughout the week. This was the snowpack in Wyoming relative to averages for December 21st. So this is for the 21st. These were snowpack conditions as of yesterday morning. Notice the change. Notice the upper North Platte hits 97% of normal after being 83. Little Snake actually goes above average. And notice we have yellow go to green. Okay, so we're starting to see this. This does not include the very heavy snow that fell yesterday. When we get the updated snowpack numbers tomorrow, we will probably see the upper North Platte, the lower green, the Wind River, maybe the Yellowstone and Snake going to 100% of average or more. Now in Colorado, this is what it looked like in Colorado's snowpack areas on December 21st. Look at the change there. Look at the yellow to green and look at the Gunnison. The Gunnison went from 80 to 114% of average. Needless to say, with a change like that and more changes coming, with more snow coming, avalanche dangers are very, very high. We got avalanche watches, avalanche warnings in effect. This is out of the Colorado Avalanche Center, but anywhere in the western United States, Colorado, Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, Utah, into the Pacific Northwest mountains, avalanche dangers are really high. This is a big weekend for skiing. This is a big weekend for snowmobiling. The week coming up and New Year's weekend. Be careful out there. The amount of snow that has fallen has been impressive. In fact, I want to give you a little bit of a hint. Here in the upper North Platte drainage in the Snowy Range Mountains, many of the snowpack sensors picked up over 3 inches of water through this morning in the upper Platte Basin. So 3 inches of water equivalent, if you were to basically take that to snow, that is at least 30 inches of snow. Most likely in terms of inches, that 3 inches of water converted probably up to 3 to 4 feet of snow in some areas. So there's a lot of snow loading and a lot of wind over the weekend caused a lot of drifting. So the message here is be careful out there if you're going to head into the great outdoors and into the backcountry. This is the the sea surface temperature map as of Christmas Eve. Just wanted to show how impressive the body of cold water is with the La Nina. We feel that this is probably peaking right now. We're going to see a slow degraded pattern of the La Nina in the weeks going forward. But look how cold those sea surface temperatures are. in the subtropical Pacific, really expanding down the coast of South America. And the very cold air that's been off the North American continent over Alaska and Western Canada has caused the sea surface temperatures now all the way down to the West Coast that get colder than average as well. So lots going on with the weather, folks. We'll update you tomorrow. Have a great Monday.